All right, guys, welcome to. It's been a while. It's been a minute,
It has.
Brent, to Video Content Challenge, and we're we're thinking maybe Video Content Challenge is a little bit ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so it took the artists that we have on our show today to kind of bring it back around and say, you know what, maybe we ought to give this segment another chance on the podcast, because I think since the last Video Content Challenge we did, which was, my gosh, was that a couple years ago? Maybe?
Probably so, a couple of years now, yeah.
That just a lot more people starting to figure out that, we're right. We've been right all along. It might make you uncomfortable, but we're right. And this is what you need to do. And so I'm stoked. So this is Video Content Challenge, guys. This is where we bring an artist on with a song that's either has been released or is about to be released. And we just start brainstorming on all kinds of different video content ideas and strategies to kind of promote this song. What could we do? What could we do that would work?
How do we get to 7?
How do we get to 7? That's right. See, it's been so long, I forget that's the
little tag thing.
That's the tag thing. So why don't you do the honors here and introduce my new best friggin' friend,
like my
brother from another mother. He's from the mothership, dude.
See,
for sure.
I would not steer you wrong, Johnny. When I've been writing with this cat for a little while now, and just love him, love his music, love writing with him. Just I dig him as a person. I'm like, and as we're talking about his business and stuff, I'm like, oh, you need to meet Johnny. Johnny will love you. So our guest, and
you were right, and you know me so well.
Based on we've been talking for an hour before we hit record. So yes. So our guest today is a native of Southeast Texas. He is playing all over the place. He ain't just playing in Texas. He's playing all over the place. I follow him online, and he's showing up all kinds of places. But he's had 2 number ones on Texas country radio so far. Has a new single out called "Somebody's Baby." John Stork, welcome to the C.L.I.M.B.
Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. This is going to be good. I can already tell from the hour we've talked before this. We had a lot of ground to cover, really, and just diving into it. And I think it was time.
I didn't know I had a brother out there in the world, and I've just met him, and I'm so happy. Like I'm just like, it's like
hey. Wait till I put my glasses on.
I love my sister to death, but I always wanted a brother, and now I found him.
Well, we're gonna get in a little bit of trouble when I come to town.
Oh, yes, we are.
It's gonna be good. We'll be great.
I'm looking forward to it, sir. Yeah. So, what we're gonna do first, I think, is listen to the song, right?
Yeah, and the question is, how do we get to 7, right? So the average listener, we are not the average listeners. Climbers, people that listen to the show, you're not the average listener, but the average listener needs to hear the song like 7 times before they're even kind of aware that they've heard it once.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you have to remember, as artists, as songwriters, as industry pros, you have the curse of knowledge, right? You can hear something once, you're right inside. You're like, oh, I love that kick drum. That was definitely a P bass. I like the hair they put on that P bass, and the mix is cool. And your taste might be sophisticated enough where you're like, that's Michael frickin' Rhodes playing the P bass. God rest his soul. But the average listener, the first time they heard Indian Outlaw on the radio in 1994 was the 7th or the 8th, because that's how long it takes for their brains to stop filtering it out. And that's the key. That's why marketing 101, it's reach and frequency, the frequency part of it, over and over and over again. That's why we have rotational format programming on terrestrial radio. If it was just about a good song and all anybody had to do it was hear it once, just like you can hear it once, then there's 2016 spins a week that a radio station can play. And they would play 2016 different songs. The labels would make more money, right?
That sounds great. I love that.
So it really is about you got to keep. It's the repetition, and it's over a long period of time. And so you can't just one video is not going to do it, man. And just your song is not going to do it. And you can have a hit on Spotify. You can have 10 million streams on Spotify. God bless you. You're going to make some money, but still not going to get arrested walking down the street. You can't sell out my office, unless you're doing all this other stuff. So that's what Video Content Challenge is about. We want to, just the same way Song Title Challenge gets you behind the brains of the pros and how they think about how to manipulate a title and turn it into a hit song. We're going to do the same with what you need to be spending 95% of your time doing, which is marketing and promotion and pushing that out there. And it's a different way of communication, man. Like early in this conversation that we talked with the artist, he's talking about, I'm either going to be a better communicator or I'm going to be a better artist. Like win-win, like when he has these conversations with his band, right? And with his team and the people around him. And so it really is about communication. It's one thing to have a hit song, man. It's a whole other high. It's a whole nother real fun itch to scratch artistically when you figure out a way to turn people on to that song, because then you're like, yes, there it is. And it's double the validation. There we go. So Brent, introduce us to our guest.
I already did.
Oh, we did?
I'm John.
See, I'm so wrapped up in that whole damn thing. I can't.
The one thing I
calm down, man.
The one thing I'm
in a bromance right now.
That's right.
I love you too.
Welcome, John. Welcome to the climb.
So, John, let's start off by talking about, first of all, John just held up to the screen if you're watching on YouTube. That is a content calendar that is freaking color coded from his wife. Why don't we start with that and tell me like what you got going on first, and we're gonna try to cook up some ideas too for this music.
Yeah.
Video, right?
So, thanks to my team, my guitar player Ryan and my tour manager Shelton, I was not on board. They kind of drug me into this kicking and screaming, and it started slowly, and they were just compiling all of these videos, lip sync videos, live performance videos, upbeat and downbeat. Some of them he was like, "Hey, I want you to sing this like you're singing a lullaby. Sing somebody's baby like you're singing a lullaby." And I was like, "Okay, I don't get this, but whatever." They made me hike through the mountains in my boots just to get a shot and then come back down. We did drone shots. We've done, and this is the first of 6 songs. So, getting all this.
That's what I wanted to
content-
hear right there. That's what I wanted to hear. Yep.
Exactly. So, and I've said this before, but man, this EP, this batch, whatever you want to call it, I honestly think there's something literally for everyone. There's upbeat, there's down, there's happy, there's sad, there's kind of just twist the knife a little bit, and then there's some definite rocky tonk on this. This is the hardest it'll get. But yeah. Anyways,
well, if this first release is any indication, you're gonna be just fine. That song is badass, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun. Thank you.
Much fun.
But
So,
the content that we got, we did behind the scenes, we did lip sync, we did basically miniature music videos. And I know y'all were saying how do we get to 7? And I remember that being 3 or 4. I don't want to like date myself here, but
7. It's always been 7.
Being in sales, it was always, you gotta get the name, gotta hear the name, gotta have them refer. It's that. So 7.
Sales technique different, like when remembering names, the mental thing of doing that, because you're the one actively engaging in that. Like you're aggressively, same thing. Like say 4 or 5 times in your head, or picture the name on their head with lipstick, and you'll never forget their name.
So
different than listening to a song passively and then getting into the hook and being able to be like singing along with it and all that stuff.
Yeah. So when my guitar player Ryan and my tour manager Shelton came to me with this, hey, look, we released this stuff in December, and we hadn't seen much of any kind of bump, any kind of difference, and that was at the time the best project that I had ever put out. This one, on the other hand, I feel like, and these are not my words, we're head and shoulders above the last, which is always what you want to do.
Heck yeah.
And if you're not, then you need to go home. But these guys told me, look, we've got to do something different because this material deserves the content and it deserves to be rolled out correctly. We don't
Yes.
have a label. We're independent. We're doing all this ourselves. We just got to do it. And
Yeah.
thank God they bought in and they drug me in. And I was like, okay, well, I feel bad half the time just because I'm on the other side of the camera, and they're over here doing the stuff.
Following you up that mountain to get the shot.
Oh man,
but with the gear.
I can't wait to see the behind the scenes of shooting. I hope there's enough of it because it's going to be hilarious. It's just going to be, it's going to be all over the place.
So here's the thing. Like a couple things I will say. Like I want to kind of redirect some of this stuff. Like we've talked before in the podcast about like hashtag strategies, and I don't think we ever really talked about like when to post. But all the platforms now really they're set up to tell you that. Like they analyze your data for you. Like here's the best time to post. Those things help. But what's more important by far is
content.
Two things. Good content and consistent content, right? So ideally on your 6-week release, what I would like to see you do, John, and we haven't talked about this, so I'm betting you're already got this planned out. So I'm just here to validate what I'm pretty sure you're already doing. But 6 to 8 weeks in between releases, right? With a boatload of content to promote each release in between each release, right? So music video, if you can do it, lyric video, and a ton of micro content, like you said. So describe some of your micro content right now. Like you've got some behind the scenes stuff.
We've got,
like you were talking about the studio where, y'all, before we pressed record on this, we were just talking about the track and everything. And I was like, I just started off the conversation by saying, man, I love it when a really good song starts with a hook. It starts with a chorus, just right off the bat. Like that's cool, and there's so many songs that are just so powerful, such big songs like that. and tell the story like what you described in the studio, how that came about. And that's content, right? Because you said you were running, the cameras were going when you were doing that. Is that correct?
We did the behind the scenes after the studio.
Okay.
I didn't.
Well, you
I didn't have
described
the forethought. Yeah, we sat down. We put it, a setup in a cool location, and I just went through. And looking back at it now, I think the next behind the scenes or the next interview style sessions that we do for these next songs are going to be even better. Obviously, because that's just how my brain works. If the next
because
one's not
you started
better,
flexing the muscle, and once you start flexing it, you're like, oh, this I like doing this. I don't like doing it that way, and then you just find your way and you get better.
Exactly. I feel super awkward in the first little bit of each one of these different styles of content that we're getting. These micro content sessions are like, you can tell when I get a little bit more comfortable within the videos. So it's going to be interesting because we've shot the first song over a period of, I don't know, months. The second song has to be finished up within the next 2. And then the third song, so on and so forth. So like,
you get that train starts rolling at 6 to 8 weeks, and that is a fast effing train, man.
You gotta keep
I
going.
have been run over by that train countless times. I can't tell you. Like I'm still trying
to. So everybody had a little like breath, a little sigh of relief when I sent out the text. Everything's up, everything's ready to go. It's scheduled, but. Yeah.
And by the way, we're recording this probably about a week before the song drops. So a week before it's dropped, he already has all 6 to 8 weeks of content scheduled. So keep that in mind.
Recorded, produced. Like it's been the video shoots have happened. They've done the post-production. All the syncs have happened, because I know that you got the hook playing in the background and every one of those interview things that you're when you're talking about.
Oh, if not,
write that down.
That's a thing. Yes.
Because that's how you get to 7. Have that. So now listen, on a technical level, like I think climbers need to hear this. Like, you got to take the narrative vocal and you got to compress it, right? Like, some
Yep.
people don't like to compress too much. Pull it back 5 to 7 dB so that it just is tight. And two things happen. Number one, you make sure that it's clear, that everybody can hear your voice clearly, and it gives you a little bit more room to pull that hook up in the background. You want to start with a chorus and just let it ride. And the more people hear that, and you're telling the story, they want to hear that story, and then they're hearing that song too at the same time in the background. So you're Trojan horsing that in there, man, and making that work. Think about like Walker Hayes or Lil Nas X, right? Like that Old Town Road. Like, how did those songs break those artists on TikTok? Fancy like Applebee's on a first date, swipe up. Fancy like Applebee's on a first date, swipe up. Fancy like Applebee's. You just keep watching different video content with the same hook, So it's that's that's what happens when the song goes viral. But the mechanics, the principles, the fundamentals of why it happens is they keep hearing the hook over and over again because they're willing to go down the rabbit hole consuming the content. Now, when it goes viral, that's user-generated content. God bless you when your stuff goes viral and you get user-generated content. That's fantastic. But there is nothing that says the artist can't do this, right? There's nothing that says, and I don't know exactly, I'm still trying to work with this. I just had a meeting with an artist that I'm going to start working with, who's, it's him and his girl together, and she's like an actress, like a big cinematography freaking genius and all that. And so I'm like, okay, how would you know what would be interesting? Take a friggin' music video and chop it up into micro content, but have that cliffhanger at the end of every 30-second, what's going to make them want to see the next one? Like, how do you do that in 30-second bits? Like, I'm not sure, but we're asking the right questions. So, being able to do that, like to really how to make a difference and how to punch through in today's market where it's a tyranny of choice instead of a tyranny of space. Right.
Yeah.
And stories are definitely the way to do it. So I love the backstage stuff, man, the behind the scenes stuff, because I mean, you clearly have a following. You're out on the road all the time. These are the people, they want to hear how you make the donuts. They want to hear. They want to hear.
They know you're the donut man. Yeah. They just want to hear how you do it.
Yeah.
So that's the cool part to me is how these are just going to keep on coming, and the stories behind each song. Like I was saying, there's something on this for everyone. So there's some that are a little bit more over there on that side of the spectrum, and then there's some that about just like I said, the song just kind of sticking you in and turning the knife on it. So and there's all personal to me. I think out of any that are pretty just a fun good time story, this is the one. And
this
the rest of them just go deeper, and the stories are there.
A great opener. Let me ask you a question. Can you articulate a little bit? You were talking about how your tour manager was like, "Hey, sing this like a ballad now, right? Or sing this like what are you doing
almost
there?
Like
in the
you're
content?
Covering your own song in a different way.
Exactly. It's just a different rendition of it, and in the micro content, we've got over 60 videos. Between
how many?
Over 60.
60.
60.
Everybody. 60.
Where I'm from, they'd say it like 60. So as far as all that goes, I mean, my guitar player was the one that told me, okay, now sing it like this. Okay, now sing it soft. Now sing it like this, and sing it. Okay, sing it a little louder now, and sing and do a little fluctuation. So he was getting me to cover my own song.
Yeah.
In a hotel room. I did it on a park bench in the middle of Red Rocks. I did it. I mean, man, we did it any which way you can think of, and So probably in total we had 100 videos, 80,
That's
85 to
impressive.
100. But
My
we
nipples are
didn't.
hard right now. Is that
Some
wrong?
of them, some of them were just not good enough to use. You
Yeah.
know, when I'm like,
Which you're
Yeah.
gonna have. I mean, you know what? Like that.
That's
Like,
why you do a
listen.
bunch.
Like that's the whole thing. That's what I'm trying. Like when I'm trying to get artists to do this behavior modification, John, that you've already walked through that door, which is, I
they've
mean,
got
dude,
me.
you are light years ahead of all your competition right now by simply just resigning yourself to the fact like this is part of the freaking deal, man, and this is part of the job description,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go do it. And of course, because you're John freaking Stork, you're like, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna do it right, and we're
Mhm.
gonna do it better every time we do it again. You know what I mean? And we're gonna keep getting better, and that's
Yep.
that is it. You get on the hunt for it, you know, but
Yep.
but that is the key, man, and the consistency of coming that out. Now, some tricks I'll tell you too, and it just in post, like because you had mentioned to me that you have shots a bunch of this content in interesting places. You said,
Mhm.
like I think was the word you know, love that, right? So anything you do to maybe even sometimes like oversaturate the background color wise, just make those colors like
Yep.
pop, it's going to be something that's going to stop. And then I'll bet your people are already onto this, but the editing, so algorithmically, guys, um, there, I think a lot of people who don't understand social media believe that they want to throttle everything down on your content to push you into ads. Okay. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. The reality is they make their money on ads. You're the product. If you're not an advertiser, you're the product. And so the longer they can keep you on the platform, the more money they're going to make on ads. So it's what they're doing is it's the same way we kind of described YouTube, right? Where if you know YouTube makes their money in advertising, if YouTube could make every single video that gets posted go viral, they would be bigger than Amazon,
Mhm.
including the AWS part. I'm not just talking about the store. Like most people don't know about AWS, you know,
Right.
like that's way bigger than the store. They'd be bigger than that, but they can't. So what are they doing? They're algorithmically crawling all the servers all the time to look for little campfires, right? Little spurts of activity that happen within a certain amount of time. And then what they're going to do is throttle that up and continue to do so as it continues to have a life. That's how it goes viral. So it's not just going viral because somebody saw it and they shared it with two friends and they loved it and they shared it with two friends and so on and so on and so on. That's how it starts. But then it gets throttled up by the platform after you ring a couple low bells, you know?
Yeah.
So understanding that it's in their best interest to throttle you up. They just need a freaking reason to do it. So one of the big things that factors in is time spent on the platform, right? So if you've all noticed the trend lately on how they're editing reels in particular, right? It's the I call it the Pulp Fiction edit, right? They're starting with the end first, and then they get into the story, and you're like, it seems like a non sequitur. It seems like a little like pattern interrupt. You're like, wait, what just happened? Now you're listening, but the reason they do that is because then when it loops back around, it takes the brain a few seconds to figure out that, oh, I'm at the end,
I'm
which is also
watching
the
this.
beginning. And so you know, it's a couple extra seconds. That juices the algorithm, right? And over time, over consistent data, all of a sudden that tips the scale, and now you're gonna have more stuff that gets a farther organic reach than you did before because of just the way that you edited it, you know. So something to keep in mind uh, with that. But man,
I love that.
quick question: any cover songs at all that you're putting out?
No cover songs. Do you have any suggestions though? Because I definitely take some suggestions on a cover
Oh,
song or two.
because you are just my favorite person on the planet right now. I've
Johnny,
got
I'm
some
right
great
here.
suggestions.
I'm right here.
For
No, I'm just kidding.
I love you too, Brent. I love you too.
Man.
um,
Well, hey, you know what? Let's talk cover songs when I come to town because I would love to.
we will, and just for the sake of the you know, for the sake of the show content here, I will say this: you're already got a great open mind, but the big thing is this isn't reinventing the wheel. I have to remind artists because they forget, right? First 5 Beatles records, 50% covers on each record. First 2 Stones records, all covers except for 3 songs.
One of my favorites, and it took me a long time to figure this out, but don't hold it against me. I lived in the country and I was homeschooled, so I was triple sheltered if you really want to look at it like that. Um, I didn't know I was singing cover songs the entire time. Well, not the entire time. I was listening to Alan Jackson until I was like 18 years old. I was like, wait, this is a cover song? This is a cover song too? This is a cover song too? I'm like, I heard
Little Bitty
I'm
and
blanking now. Yeah,
Little
Little
Bitty
Bitty
or
and
Blues
Tall Tall
Man or
Trees, and I was like, wait, hold on, what?
You know
I
what's
had
not
no
a cover?
idea.
Monday Morning Church.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
That's
an
right.
original, y'all.
I think it's on the wall behind you if I look close
somewhere
enough.
behind
No,
me,
but
yeah.
no, I would love to get into that, and the whole thing behind just what we're doing is um, just getting out there, and what you were talking about. You've got to give them a reason to throttle you up, and I think that reason is just in the consistency more than
Mhm,
anything. Um,
mhm.
obviously having quality content, but um, you can get there by being consistent as well.
Yeah, and being
Um,
consistent, you don't need like, we're not talking about doing, like, 8 videos a day, you know what I mean? But if you're doing 3 a week, right? 3 or 4 a week, you know what? That's gonna rock. Now, let me ask you this. So, on that note, like, a little trick I wanna turn you on to as well with the content is, um, sometimes going viral is a matter of sort of like rolling the dice a second time. Okay. So, case in point, like one of the rock bands I work with did a great cover, did a video of the cover, and they had at the time like 65 followers on TikTok. That's it. They just got onto TikTok. They're trying to figure it out, scratching their heads, that whole thing. And they put the cover up and it did well. It did like 1,200 views for 65 followers. That's pretty good. You know what I mean?
it's awesome.
They put up another piece of content and I said, you know what? Post it again. Same video because it did well. It did so well. Post it again. Posted it a second time. Like 185,000 views in 30 hours, 1,500 new followers. And we posted it a third time after that and got like another 300. You know, it didn't get the same way. But it's like, think of it like surfing the algorithm wave. Like when something does hit like a little better than the other stuff, if you post it a second time, sometimes it can
Well,
take
I
off.
mean, that's the whole, in my opinion, that's the whole idea behind scrubbing some of these videos. When you know you have something that's worth something or worth the views,
Mhm.
and it doesn't do anything because you posted at the wrong time or you got buried or whatever.
Yeah.
Throw it out there again. It's fishing. I mean,
Yeah.
you
It's
don't
fishing.
know. You don't know unless if you throw it back out there.
You like to
And
fish?
so
I love to fish.
I love to fish. I don't get to fish. This is pretty much what I do. And so, again, I definitely I need to be more consistent on my day-to-day stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like posting too much on your stories eventually, just because this is the way I think, and I know I'm not the only one. Eventually, when somebody's got 5 plus stories, you only watch the first couple and then you switch through to the next person or whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. So
Just make it all
maybe,
killer, no filler, man. All killer, no
yeah.
filler.
So,
And everybody's got their own style, and I think different people react to different styles too. You know what I mean?
yeah, the stories, and I've been doing my own research and whatnot, following suit with my guitar player and my tour manager who are helping me do all of this. Man, they're the ones that, again, they have changed my mindset on it. And I think and I told my wife the other night when we uploaded everything, I was like, I think this just kind of reignited my fire for social media, because at a certain point it can burn you out, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
just constantly trying to be on and trying to stay on it, and then the comparison comes in if you're looking around while you're on it, and comparison will kill you faster than anything you can do
Yeah.
Yeah.
to hurt yourself.
Just get better. Yeah, just figure out what works for you. I mean, out of all the content you posted, John, there was you said there's a couple things that didn't work, and now you figured that out. You know what I mean? You're not gonna
Yep.
do those things again.
Yep.
But you don't know that. You can't research that in advance. You just got to jump out and do it, and be willing to make some crap. And I'll also bet that the first piece of content you did as your team began to change your mindset on this thing because it was uncomfortable. It seemed like a lot of extra friggin' work you didn't want to have to do. Like, I'm busy enough already. I got all this crap. I don't have time to do this. But they communicated to you and somehow got it through, right? And you're like, okay, all right. So the first couple pieces of content you did versus the last couple pieces of content you did, I'll bet you those last pieces of content took about 10% of the freaking time that the first ones did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you could just tell, I mean, it's crazy personally, not only with the content, but personally, I just don't really care anymore. I walk down the street singing a song while holding a speaker in front of a parade now. I don't even care. It doesn't matter because there's this kind of like thing you get over so fast. And if you don't get over it, it's going to be on you the whole time. And so it doesn't matter. So, you know, there was one shot that we did, and it was at the end of the day. We had already shot a bunch of stuff. It was still pretty early on in the shooting of the content, but there was this circle, this brick circle in a roundabout, in the middle of a roundabout. And we were in, I forget what town in Colorado, and the sky is just cotton candy. It was beautiful. You know, the evening was just winding down, and my guitar player tells everybody, one more shot. We're going to do it. We're going to go in a circle. We're going to walk around you in a circle. And my tour manager's like, man, no, I don't want to do this. It's not going to turn out good. It's going to be bumpy. It's going to do, I forget what he said because it ended up not mattering at all. We're standing in the middle of the circle. There's people, all glass windows over here on this side. There's people walking down the sidewalk on this side. This restaurant full of people is just watching us stand in the middle of this roundabout. Cars are driving around. You're catching eye contact, and now it's like, okay, whatever, screw it, I'm in. It doesn't matter. And I think that's when I kind of like switched.
That was the moment. That was the moment where you snapped.
That was the moment because one group of girls just drove around the circle watching what we were doing a couple times, and we're playing the song on a speaker, and you know, we're just like, you know, trying to get the shot, and it ended up being one of my favorite shots that we've gotten for this first song. Hands down. And like you said, I mean, it just got better. I got better at it. Mm-hmm. The feeling just came more natural.
And you start to reckon like your guitar. Okay, you know, first of all, I need you to promise me that you're going to do something for me. Okay,
what's up?
Next time you talk to your guitar player and your tour manager, I want you to give them a handshake from me and tell them that they're freaking geniuses. Because I mean, I love hearing this stuff, and I got so much respect for those dudes for the stories that you're telling me. Like, I mean, like seriously, tell them it's coming from me. And you know, give them a huge pat on the back, dude. Like that is to grind you like that. But you know what? The point is, like, the guitar player's like, he saw it.
Yeah.
He saw the shot. He saw the light in the sky, and he's like, no, this is what a good shot's going to look like.
Yeah.
And talked everybody into doing it. And then look at what happened. You know what I mean? Yep. So you start to recognize, you start to be able to identify, like, oh, here's what we're going to do this right now. Like, this is worth the 5 minutes of our time right now.
I just figured part of it is the guitar player finally like gets to tell the boss what to do. Do it again.
Oh,
do it again this way. They're like, do it again this way. How does it feel now?
Absolutely right. They're like a couple directors. I'm like, okay, what do you want? What do you want me to do?
Listen to me. I am the captain now. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what they're doing, man. And it's unreal. And like, I'm so thankful for these guys and them really kicked me in the butt.
That's awesome.
It's hands down night and day, and it goes with it. Like the next song though, for instance, we did essentially a miniature music video with with less locations and less shots, essentially. But we did it up at Red Rocks.
Cool.
We were in
Wow.
Colorado, and we had, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. There was somebody flying a drone around us, sent us the footage. I don't know who was
How
flying it.
kind of that person.
It just showed up. So,
Man.
Do you guys
I
have a
don't
drone, John?
no.
Okay. I'm just curious. You
No,
mentioned
not the time of Red Rocks. I think since then.
Not at that time, but we have one now, and it's awesome.
you do.
But
Okay. Oh, so hold on. So I think one of the things that I want to impress upon you, like video content challenge, like with content, is I think the best way for me to explain this would be to tell you, like I'm about to start working with this band out of Missouri called the Haygoods. Okay, 7-figure act. They're huge. They sell out in Branson like 3 times a week, 1,200 seater. They've been there for 20 years. Big deal, right? And they're making a push into country, and they have drones in their light show. Okay, for their show, like they got a huge show going on, completely self contained. I'm like, you guys got cameras on any of those drones? And they're like, no, but we could. And I'm like, now picture this. What I'm about to explain to you, in the same way that somebody's baby it has got a melodic and lyrical hook that is sticky, right? There's a visual hook, okay? Because it's a different angle, right? So the first thing I was telling the Haygoods was like, you guys played a sold out show every night. Like literally, you need to walk on stage every single time with like either going live or just recording the experience of walking from backstage onto stage to a sold out crowd and get them to yell and scream and everything like that. And then at the end of the show, take that selfie with the audience with your camera, right? With your phone, with you guys have your back to the audience and the phone's up here and you're looking over your shoulder, the house lights go up and everybody's doing this. I said, do that shot. Now, lots of people do that shot. They haven't been doing that shot. But then I said, then have one of those damn drones fly out to the back of the room and take that live thing from the back. And now you post that on a consistent basis. It looks different. It's not an angle that I've ever seen. Not a lot of artists have drones, John.
Thank you for that. Well, we just got, so we've got a nicer one than we started with, which is incredible.
Did you get a Mavic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, my
can
TM
you see what's going to happen when he comes through? We're going to geek out so much.
Okay, so not myself. I started with a Mini 3. And so, and it was good. The content was good. What we were getting was better than what we've had. And then Ryan and Shelton went in and they were like, we need to up this. But we just had him buy that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go in on this. And so they bought in and
beautiful.
they were like, okay. And they showed up and it's, 3 times the size of the Mini 3. And
you gotta have a license to fly it.
Yeah, Shelton has one of those. I don't know, whatever.
As you know,
and then he shows up. Yeah, I knew that. So then he shows up with this the little one with the headset and the joystick controller, and he's like, "This is for the live show."
There you go. Yes. Now, see. So the thing is, like, just visually, like hook wise, visually, like, what makes you stop paging through on when you're scrolling through your social, right? It's like you're gonna see something different, and so those different angles, like, overuse that drone, like, because a quick, for instance, I can't remember her name right now, but there is a new Warner artist. Her name is like 2 first names, but in reverse. It's weird. She's a fantastic artist. She's a kind of slit your wrist songwriter kind of thing. Like it's so good, but I don't listen to it for too much because I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible heartbreak stuff. But she would always sing on TikTok in a bear claw bathtub in the bathroom. Now she's not she's a beautiful girl, but she's not like in suds or anything. So there's not a sex appeal thing there. She's just in a dry bathtub in her clothes. I think because she probably liked the reverb that the bathroom had at first.
Absolutely.
But
I'm
that
about to go make a video in a house I'm gonna move into. Literally after this interview, I'm packing my house up, and then I'm taking 2 trucks and trailer loads out to the country. And while the house is empty, I'm gonna
go sing
do
in
a
there.
I'm gonna do acoustic videos like later today after we unload.
My man,
Um,
there you go.
so yeah, like I get it. I get
I
it.
love it. And so, that whole thing, that corner of the bathroom, because it's a tight shot of her sitting in a bear claw bathtub singing her heart out, like that became a visual hook, right? Like people instantly knew it was her, like they could recognize it in a feed. And so that's what I want for you with that drone stuff. I think you're gonna find some good, like figure out just some different angles. And when you do crazy shit, man, like I'm just doing Josh's. I'm finishing up Josh's video. Josh Roy is an artist that I work with out of Arizona
Very cool.
for Angels Cry. Okay, and we had a drone for that, and we put the guitar player prior to sunrise. Okay, a half hour to 40 minutes before sunrise, up on top of this, like it looks like a friggin' mountain because of the angle that we got, but it's like maybe 2.5 stories tall. You know what I mean? How they have those like
Yeah.
those little mountainy looking things like in Arizona, right? It's I don't know
Yep.
if you can call it a mountain, but he's up on top of that thing, and then we dropped the drone down and had it looking up and then circling around that dude. It's godlike. I'm
Yeah.
not
You're
even
looking like
epic.
Slash in November Rain or something.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where I kind of got the idea from. But you know what? He wasn't even on a mountaintop. He's just out in front of that church doing that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a but that look is just because then all of a sudden you can't see the city. It looks like you don't. It could be Mount Everest, man. But the sun's just coming up and making the sky look different. But there's no direct light. You know what I mean? And just that circling around. It's like you don't see those angles that often. So that gives you an advantage visually on how to create content.
Yeah.
And so for lip sync videos, different stuff like that, like find some different play around with some angles on that
Well,
drone.
it takes a lip sync video and turns it into essentially a low budget music video, and that's
Hell
kind of what
yeah.
we found. And then you take that video. I mean, when we got back that day, they were like, "We're gonna make this real quick," and they spent hours on it. And then that evening, they were like, "Check this out, full video." Different, different places we were at, so on and so forth. And then the shot from far out,
Mhm.
standing on top of the angle. They're
Yeah.
getting the angle and whatnot. And then they said, "All right, now we're gonna
Chop it. Yeah.
chop this and we're gonna use it."
Yeah.
And
I
there you
love
go.
it. I love it. Have you ever seen that video of that like the drone being piloted through a live bowling alley on like a Saturday night?
No, that sounds
All right.
amazing though.
This video, the
I'd
cat that
watch that.
drove this drone, he's like the Hollywood's like #1 drone guy right now. Okay. I'll send it to you. I'll text it to you. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Who thinks a bowling alley is friggin' interesting?
Nobody. But when you fly a drone through it,
Dude, he's flying it like as the ball gets let go, the drone's chasing the ball down the lane, and then it goes through, up over the pins, in the back, comes back around. It's it's the most insane thing. So now think of
now
I'm
you
gonna
make me
send you
want to
that.
shoot a music video for somebody's baby in a bowling alley. I
I
think I
know.
could do it.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Like when you're doing your story stuff, like, okay, so your story, what would make your interview story different? Like if you've got your normal cameras on, you got your mics on, but then you're flying that drone around, right? Like it's coming up, it's getting all these different weird. Just have somebody freaking out on the drone while you're doing your story content. That's different. It
Mhm.
looks different. It's much more exciting. And now I just want to see what's gonna. It's like the stuff. You're only limited by your imagination.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know.
I wish I would have done a whole series of content just on me or my guitar player or my tour manager asking people if we could shoot that itself right there.
Yeah.
Just talking to people. Hey, can we fly some things around here? Hey, can we shoot music videos? Because that's essentially you just got to cut straight to that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're like, "You're doing what? I don't
Yeah.
understand." Like, hey, can we do this? And they're like, you guys are something, man. I don't
Yeah.
even know. I can't say what I want to say
Well,
on here,
I'm
but
thinking about, like, all the Howard Stern outtakes, right? Like, where they're like, in the Howard
Oh, yeah.
Stern movie, where they're just, like, are getting pushed away, they're shooting in front of the White House, and all those kinds of backdoor things, man, those are
Yeah.
super, super interesting content as well.
We need
For
one more
sure.
person on the crew just to catch all that shit.
Yep.
Because if they did, we'd already been viral. It would have already, none of the content would have been released yet, and it would have already gotten
Right.
more views than anything else. So, that's the fun part though. But now I'm thinking of,
It makes me
asking
think
a
too of,
bowling
like,
alley if I can
I'll
fly a
send you
drone
that
through
video,
there.
dude. Check it out. Like, it'll get your brain spinning, and everybody will be like, "Okay, now apply that." It doesn't even have to. I mean, that's sophisticated drone flying right there. That guy's like an ace. But
Yeah.
just level 2 of that 100 level piloting
man.
on an interview is going to be just different, man. It's just going to be like friggin' crazy cool,
And that's why I'm excited that he's got that small one with the headset and
Yeah.
the joystick,
Yeah.
because that kind of stuff in a room we can still get, and we've got some good mics now, which is totally gonna just up the whole thing, because we were using a mounted microphone on this kind of holder we shot all this on phones,
Mhm.
on new iPhones. And so we were using a holder with a light and a mic and plug into the phone, like a little Shure setup. And, so it wasn't bad, but these lavalier mics they have now
Oh yeah.
are just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Easy
if it's a
peasy.
little windy, put a little, cap on it and
Uh-huh.
you're done, man.
It makes me think too, like of content stuff, like on Monday Night Football or whatever football, they have somebody mic'd up, on the team. They'll just pick different
Yeah.
people and mic'd up, and you
Yeah.
just hear some stuff from the different angles. And I don't know how that would work as far as like a show. Maybe it's some other stuff like, and who's going to be mic'd up next? Well, we're micing up, the guitar player for sound check or for different stuff. You just kind of hear some of that stuff. And I don't know, that
Yeah.
would be kind of interesting on load in, load out. What are they doing? And we just got different people.
Hey, that's a
mic'd
great
up.
idea. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like the other day, we played a festival at Texas Motor Speedway, NASCAR, where they run the cars north of DFW, and we walked around that evening after we played, and he was like, "Put this on. We're gonna go walk around." He handed me a speaker. He's like, "All right, now you get to go play people your song," and I was like, "Oh man, right now, really?" He's like, "Yep." I was like, okay, so we got some reaction videos that we're going to throw out there as well. Fortunately for us, they were people who have a decent social media following already.
Nice.
Nice.
And I mean, what are they going to do? Say no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can I play a song nobody's heard?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much where we were. And they, the ones that we got to listened, and, I said, it doesn't matter. One of them goes right before it starts, "Who are you?" So I think it's going to be fun, man. This stuff that we
Precisely. I love
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now you're asking the right
so,
questions.
Exactly.
that.
But like, yeah, I'm trying to say. So we've got like text overlays, we've got lip sync videos, we've got performance videos, we've got the interview. What else? Excuse me.
Bless you.
That's the only hereditary downfall that I think I've got is it's the way I sneeze.
I'm in touch with that emotion too.
Snotty honk.
So, John, I've got some ideas for this music video right now.
So
do you
we
have
need
any
to-
that you want to put forth?
We need to listen to the song, right? We need to pop the song in.
No, we
already
said
do
that.
that?
We went through at the beginning. Yeah.
Your intro,
so
my
we need to
listen
listen
to the
to it.
song.
It's an edit thing.
There we go. So I have some ideas too, even though you've already shot everything.
All right,
Probably.
Brent, you start.
Would y'all mind if I type these down? I didn't bring a pen in here, and I
Not
really
at all.
wanna-
That's what it's
I want
for.
to get the. Okay, cool.
Heck yeah, man. All right,
Shoot away.
All right. So first of all, way fun song, much fun. So it's a toe tapper. It just feels great. So I was trying to think of a couple things that would be maybe you haven't thought of yet, or could be something. So you know how people like recreate like child photos, family photos. You know, now they're older and I'll be with my siblings. We'll recreate this picture from our childhood. And it's kind of funny because now we're, you know, it's my baby sister holding me and I'm all hairy and I'm 30, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, I wonder if there's something where you can do like baby photo recreations of like, okay, here's the band, a baby photo. And now here's our bass player, like reenacting. He's trying to fit into a sink, but he's a full grown man, you know, with just a towel over him or something, you know, like a little washcloth over his privacy, that kind of stuff like that. I think stuff like that would be really funny and would encourage like maybe some user generated content of that. But like, if you're going to be somebody's baby, I'm like, okay, how do we play off the baby angle? I think it would be really funny. Like, hey, you want to see my baby picture? Then you want to see me recreate it? Here we go. And you're playing the chorus over the top of it, and you're like, oh, cute little, because who doesn't love baby pictures, right? Oh, that's awesome. And then the cringe of going, okay, here it comes. Here's John as a full grown man, you know, on a butt naked on a bearskin rug. I don't know.
But you know, hey, can I just say, like, when it comes to like this is about picking up a girl, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, like, that is effing genius, dude. Like, has anybody ever done that as a line where they just carry around a baby picture of it and they just walk up and they put it in front of the girl? It's like, oh my God, so cute. Like, I know, right? Like, look at who I turned out to be. Like,
you want to see my baby picture?
Don't even ask. Just put the picture in front of them and just let him react. And it's like, look at how adorable he is. You know, I know.
Cute baby and strong genetics.
Yeah.
I make cute babies. No, probably
show baby picture.
Funny. So that was something I thought could be funny. You know, funny content and like, and you got to get everybody involved because who's up next kind of thing. And I think that would be hilarious. So
also, it's kind of cool to get that behind the scenes look at the band's
life,
the band members, and like in their lives. Yeah. There's a sentimentality about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a word? Yeah. That is that I like. You know what I mean? It makes you feel closer to them and everything. You've seen their baby.
You've seen their baby pictures. Exactly.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And the recreation thing is clever because it's like there's some intention behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not just baby pictures,
right,
but it's also like, oh, cute. Oh man, you know.
Yeah. Wow. And no matter what reaction anybody has, like in the shot, like even if they're like rolling their eyes, like it's adorable when they're older. You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
Some people can get into it. Some people
my wife is gonna love finding the worst picture she can find. I'm sure. So that's gonna be great.
Yes. So that's one thing I was thinking of. You know, the lyric, it's not like imagery heavy, which is cool because it totally works for this thing. Normally I'm like, put more images in, but it totally works for this, right? But there are a couple things in there. I'm like, is there a way, like with video, and you got it over going, which of these things is not in the video? I'll tell you at the end. And you like you got a bar stool, you got the keys, you got cowgirl boots that are mentioned in the song. And you got some of these things. Like, is there a way to go, one of these is not in the video, or one of these is not in the song? I'll tell you in a minute. You know, you got these different things floating up or whatever. And then at the end, you're like,
just ask the question and have them respond on social media.
Yeah, which one of these is not in the song? You could do, I don't know.
I love that
test, or do you have something where like, you know, items are in the background and like, hey, the last couple of videos we've done on my Instagram, last 4 videos, we have one item from, you know, that are in the song lyric in the background. Tag me, tell me which one's in, win a free CD or something. I don't know. Or some way to get people kind of involved, kind of gamify.
Well, you know what? Like, hold on. So this is kind of like a
or hidden.
And we talked about this before on VCCs, but John, have you ever seen pop-up video?
Oh yeah,
on VH1.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, where that, like, you see this video that you've seen a million times, but now they're like pointing out like all the crap that happened during the shoot,
like
in the background.
Yeah. Like, okay, this is a period piece, 1800s, but look, the director left his cell phone.
Yeah.
In the shot. You know, you don't notice it until they put a big arrow and they point it out.
There's a coffee on the desk.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, that kind of stuff too. Like, I think the more like that when you take the turn that you did, where you just embrace like boatloads of content, and now you're getting the toys to make the noise, and I love this. Like it's not that difficult for you to go and just sort of go back over and have a big laugh about all the crap you had to go through, including asking for locations and all that crap to try to get in there, and the story behind it while the video's playing. You know, like this shot, we almost lost our lives because the guy's wife said yes, but then when he came home, he went and got his gun and chased us off his property.
Right.
Like, you know, it's whatever the story is. Like, that's fascinating, I think.
Yeah, it can kind of double the amount of content because you have your regular version. Now you have your BTS, what are your behind the scenes version with the pop-ups telling something about like, okay, this was shot at, don't know whose drone this was, but they send us the footage. Thank you. You know, or or whatever it is. Like you have your regular version. Now you have the pop-up version that's, you know, the wink and the smile and the behind the scenes stuff or the little info nuggets or trivia or whatever. So immediately, boom, doubles your amount of content with a little bit of typing and popping stuff overlaid. So I think that's much fun.
One of the things I was thinking of was that you had mentioned, you know, like like what you've been focused on the last few years, John, is writing better songs and your live show, right? So I've never seen your live show, but I'm feeling like it's pretty badass. I mean, your personality, your energy, everything like that, heading that whole thing up, like that's something I want to pay to see, you know?
No,
so
thank you.
I think, you know, for you, I remember listening to interviews of Bon Jovi, you know, and it took him 2 albums to kind of, for the game to slow down for him to where he really became a master at what he was doing. But if you look at the music videos from the first 2 albums, they're all these like conceptual videos from these like stupid directors and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, man, we're a live band. And every single video after that's, starting with everything from Slippery When Wet, it's all the live show stuff, right? It's just show, and they were just the coolest things ever, man. And that really was the essence of who they were, you know? So I think you, like in when you go up to Colorado, what do you play? Grizzly Rose up there?
We've played, we haven't played the Grizzly Rose, but we play all over Colorado Springs, Denver, Fort Collins, and where were we at? Pueblo. I mean, we're just bouncing around, Colorado and then some. I mean, the Northwest, I love the Northwest because they just seem to like us.
Yeah, good.
They love some Rocky Tonk.
So whatever place you can like pack out, you know, and get some good live shots of the band that are doing that. And then, you know, this is a song people can line dance to.
Yeah.
Right. And I would love to see that. I would love to see like a huge big line dance thing happening to this song, because once people see it, then they're like, oh yeah, I want to line dance to that. And that can start a little something. It's got the DNA to do that.
I'm working on, we've got some dance videos for it.
Oh, really?
I'm working on.
Go on.
I'm working on getting like, I'm talking a dance floor of people and using that drone, you know, joysticking around and getting the shots and I want to get something choreographed, and it's not too late. It's still more than doable because I know a lot of dancers that'll just pop something on the spot, and then from there we video that.
Now, real quick before I forget, like spread that line dance group out.
Yeah. Fill up the entire floor.
No, fill it, but spread them out so there's room for the drone.
Yes.
To fly in between and at the boot level, you know what I mean? Where they're watching the footwork on that, dude. I have never seen a video like that of line dancing at all.
So, okay, hold on, let me write that down.
I'm thinking too, while you're writing that, John, your wife works for the Houston Texans, so I'm like, what kind of access and stuff can you get away with? And maybe better to get forgiveness and permission, just depending on her situation with the Texans. But going, hey, can we run on the field real quick and maybe do a little drone shot of something on the 50-yard line? You know, I don't know what's possible, but I'm like, oh, that's just a freaking cool thing, because people like country music, people like the NFL. I know I like both. And like, What is there that could be, you could get maybe forgiveness or just stealth it and
What
have
does
to
this
get
make
neither?
possible?
Oh, we could probably just walk straight in there. Homeless people do it all the time. The doors are never really closed. So like, uh, yeah, as like
That's what
she tells me all the time, look, just act like you know what you're doing and you're supposed to be here.
Mhm.
And
There you go.
you just stand up and keep walking. Nobody talks in there. When they do, most of them are afraid. Half the time they think they're probably gonna get fired. So, yeah, we could probably just go do it.
All you need is like, you
that's
got a problem with that?
awesome.
Should I take this upstairs? Nope, nope, we're good. Okay, thanks.
Do I need to talk to Bill?
Bill? No, no, we're fine. We're good. Go ahead. Thank you.
Exactly.
Do I need to get your
So,
name?
So you could do you can incorporate that whole live show shot thing with a little bit of concept where the girl's at the bar, the seat's empty, and you just keep showing like guys going up trying to hit on her,
Mhm.
and she's not handling it right. And then maybe the end, like the set's done, she's still there, and you're the one that walks up like with the baby picture, you just put it in front of her. And she's like, her face just lights up like everything. She's just like, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. It's like fail, 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 fail. And then all of a sudden her face lights up like, oh, and you're like, and you just kind of like look at the camera like, all right.
yeah, that's me. Yeah.
That's funny. I almost thought of that old was it Delamitri band that had all around the world, pretty baby. They were in like they put
Uh-huh.
their heads on like little kids and they were in a stroller, and so it was like the
Yeah.
band on baby bodies. Their faces on baby bodies, like going through a stroller
Oh, that's
downtown.
interesting.
I was like, is there something just, I mean, that's, heavy CGI or whatever, but like just playing up the baby angle. And of course,
Well,
John
he's got
has
a
a baby,
brand new
like a
baby.
year
They can take a
almost.
picture of that thing, put it on top of the bar, let the girl play with it, and then she's just playing with the baby the whole time. And then the last shot, you look in, and it's John in a cowboy hat.
You just like see from the back.
Okay, that sounds that CGI work sounds kind of expensive. We're still balling on a budget here.
That's all right.
We shot
you can do
everything
that.
on
You can do that in
iPhones.
Premiere Pro. You can do that in Premiere Pro, man.
Okay.
Yeah, brainstorming
make
has
that
no
happen.
budget. That's all right.
That's
You
a
just
masking thing, but
pan
it's not
around
as
the
difficult
girl.
as it sounds.
Yeah.
You just
But
pan
yeah,
around the
just have you in
girl.
there.
Mhm.
That would be funny, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man. Who's that baby on the bar?
Yeah. You got a baby.
John, you've got a baby in a bar.
Right.
You're like, yeah, no,
Nah.
this one's still on the tit. I can take him anywhere.
Yeah.
It's fine.
What?
He loves it.
Let's see. Okay, so some of the lyric. If you want to be somebody's baby, you want to give somebody all your time. You want to be somebody's baby. Why don't you come on and be mine? It's like, okay, when you said your guitar player was like, sing it like a lullaby. I'm like, if you're not singing that to your little baby girl, your cute little baby girl, like as a lullaby, why are you not? You got to get your life right. Like, why don't you be my baby? Because she's literally your baby, and there's nothing like inappropriate in the chorus lyric, to sing like.
No.
If you give somebody all your time, be my baby, and she is your baby, and then like who doesn't love that, and who doesn't love you?
That's
for
the
that?
beauty. That's the beauty of this,
Prop.
the
I
content
named her
stuff
Prop.
and being.
No,
Her name's Proper. That's the beauty of this whole thing is like, these ideas and our ability, their ability. I just stand there, honestly.
Yeah.
Their ability has come so far. And like I was saying, we shot over 60 videos easy, and we shot way more than that, but we only used 60 something videos.
Yeah.
Because the ones that we shot in the beginning, and my TM was like, look, we're going to get better at this. We just have to use everything.
yeah,
It doesn't matter, good, bad. I was like, yeah, but when we started looking at the videos towards the end, the ones in the beginning look like shit.
Yep.
And we're like, wait, hold on, we got to redo some of this. And he's like, no, I already said this in the beginning. Like, we're going to use everything. And we're like, yeah, but this just, the bar is here, and we don't want to,
yeah.
we don't want to, let's go back a little bit and just raise it a little bit.
That's a good problem.
And so
that is a good problem.
that's, that it's great. It's fantastic. So, we're just, we just got to get rolling on this next one so we can get everything uploading and moving. And um, hey, thanks for the somebody's baby dancing around singing somebody's baby content idea, because I'm just gonna go turn that into a video
yeah.
and we're gonna post that.
You know what, Brent?
Uh,
That could also be a little part. That could be just some side content of him singing to his baby.
Yeah.
But it could also be like the beginning of the music of the live music video where he's just doing the slow version of that, singing to his baby.
Mhm.
And it's like a tender moment, him and his wife, you know, she wants to be in the video, and he just singing that slow style. And it's like, all right, I'm off to the thing. Oh, you got to do it. That could be, you know, again, behind the scenes, like a little bit of your family life, which makes you feel closer to
Yeah.
the artist. You know?
Home John,
Yeah.
Road John.
Yeah. I think we got some good looks at this, man.
I think that's much
I think
fun.
we did. And I
Uh,
love that we talked about so much strategy too, and not just the creative part of it as well, John. I think that's
man,
fantastic.
So
I
important. for
still
people.
think the 7 thing is amazing, but I think it's probably between 8 and 12 in my opinion. Now,
These
Well,
days,
okay, hold on. 7.
I'm a giant squirrel, but
Yeah.
I think everybody else out there is between 8 and 12 if you ask me. I'm just
No,
saying.
you're right. Oh, well, hold on. Well, 7 is the number that is how long it takes for the brain to stop filtering it out, right?
Yeah.
It's what they call subconsciously
so
recognizable.
just to get in the
I'll give you a
game.
really good illustration of this. Like, think about whatever vehicle that you have right now that you're driving, whether it was your dream car or whether it's a practical car to get you from point A to point B, whether you bought it brand new, whether you bought it used. You've seen a million of them. You know the brand, you know the make, you know the model, you know everything about it. You knew exactly what to expect, but yet there was a moment between 1 hour and 1 week after you bought that vehicle where you're sitting at a stoplight and you're like, where the hell did all these F-150s come from? Right?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're
and
absolutely right.
because they were always there, your brain's filtering that out. Okay. Because it's not relevant and personal to you. Right. And that's why the repetition. That's why. So 7 does not make you a fan. Right. 7 just means you're starting to pay attention now. And then I think, to your point, by the time you get to 12 or 15, now it's an earworm, and they're starting to sing that song, and they're starting to request that song.
Good news is it's an earworm because people have been singing it when we play it live.
Yeah.
By the
Yep.
second chorus,
Yeah.
or
It's a good song, dude.
technically the first chorus.
Well, yeah, 'cause
You know,
Yeah.
after we
first full chorus.
start the song, they're like,
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
how this goes.
yeah, they're making people next to them think that they're missing out because they don't know the words already and they just picked up. I'm like, you don't know this, but thanks for singing it. This
You know
is
what?
good.
Not for nothing. That's footage right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Like where you have the crowd singing along with you, and you just, you know, you I don't even, GoPro or just your phone or something. You just kind of stick it out from the stage and just, you know, get people
Mhm.
while they're, you know, in the front row there, or, you know, singing the song with you. Like,
Yep.
that's also social proof that you got it going on.
I need to have my phone on stage with me. I don't leave it in my pocket because I despise seeing that big rectangle
Uh-huh.
in people's pockets when they're on stage.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you don't, you don't take, well, you don't take your coffee into the shower in the morning, like, unless you do, I don't know. But like,
Depends on how
you just,
hungover you are, but yeah.
yeah, you just don't, I don't like that. So I usually leave it in a stage box backstage, and you know, but I need to bring it out. You can't put it on an amp. You can't put it next to anything. Otherwise it starts messing with stuff. So I think I've just gotten away from bringing my phone on stage over time, but I got you.
Yeah.
Johnny, I promise I'll have my phone somewhere on stage.
Even if you just do it like for some content for the shoot, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That could be really good stuff that just shows everybody knows the song and they're singing along. It shows there's a party. There's a party there, man. That's what the song's about.
Do you ever, John,
if the visual is going to look like the music.
and I know you're playing different venues, and so there's probably not one answer to this, but do you ever have like video screen behind you when you can put stuff up there that can change during the show or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, man, if you want to get some sing along footage, put the freaking words up there to the chorus, just like Sunday morning worship time, you know, like let's make it
Hey,
real
man.
easy on people to sing along and catch. And then, we're not filming the words are on the screen. But we're going to film you because you can sure sing along now.
I can do
'cause
that.
it's, you know, first, second, and third stanzas, everybody. Everybody, please stand. Please rise.
Yeah. Everybody rise.
There we go.
No, oh, heck yeah.
Bravo
Oh,
has
he
made
would
an
eat
appearance on the
mine.
show.
Yeah.
It's a dog that give you a
Oh,
Well,
concussion.
John, thank you for coming on, dude. I think this is some good stuff. You gotta. We're gonna hang out on the 6th, but you follow up with me, man. Like I'm gonna follow you now, and I can't wait to see this stuff roll out
Yes.
and see what you do with it.
Thank
You
you.
know.
Me too, man. I'm so excited, and I know when you mentioned earlier the saturation.
Mhm.
I don't know why this is stuck out in my head, but like the saturation on some of those videos and stuff, especially when we were in Colorado and
Yeah.
what you're talking about, making things pop and stuff. I'm excited for you to see, some of the stuff that we've been working on, and
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be like, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So it's
And
gonna be
I know,
really
like,
cool.
I know most of this stuff is validation because you guys are down that rabbit hole and you're
Oh,
just figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's
You're
what
like
you figure
Austin
out.
Powers down a tunnel on a golf cart, man. There's just no coming back. You can't turn around. You just gotta keep. You
It's
gotta
a
keep
little
driving.
sophisticated, man, but it ain't rocket science. And once you
No.
just get over the fact, once you just realize like this is part of the job description, man, this is it. Like then you just go to work, and that's
Now
all
I
it
just
is.
gotta get more consistent on the day to day and behind the donut man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but
There you go.
the song is out now. It's called Somebody's Baby. John, where can they find you and all things John Stork?
Yes.
JohnStork.com, Jon, no H in John, Stork like the bird that brings the babies. Just anywhere that you listen to music, we're everywhere that you're at. And that goes for social media as well, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. I'm all over it. I think I might even have a Snapchat, but we're everywhere. Just go check it out. If you enjoy it, tell your friends.
Amen.
Honestly, we're out here doing it. We're doing this all ourselves. The content that you're going to see and that we're going to continue to release, it's all in-house. It's all us. There's no office full of people. It's the guys in the van, a drone, some mics, and just absolute willpower. And I'm excited because I know we've already got a head start on the next few songs already and the content for those. So, we're just we're going to keep rolling these out. It's going to be a blast. And
awesome.
you can expect more music in probably a couple months. So
Nice.
That's great.
here we
All
go.
right, John. Well, thanks again, guys. That brings us to the end of our first in a long time video content challenge. Hopefully this will catch on, man. We'll get some more artists on here that are ready to rock and roll like this, because this boy's got it going on. All right, this podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.